Okay, so for this first question, we are multiplying. That's what a product means. It means to multiply. But I'm going to show you a way to multiply using friendly numbers. So for example, the 2 and the 5 multiplied together make 10. The 4 and the 25 multiplied together make 100. So remember, when you're multiplying, the order does not matter. So now really all I have to do is 15, which is left up here, times 10 times 100. And that's really easy to do in my head because there's 3 zeros. So it's just 15 followed by 3 zeros. So if you didn't multiply it that way, this is just an interesting way to look at it, to be doing some really quick mental math using friendly numbers to your advantage and making it a lot easier to compute in your head and a lot less likely to make mistakes. This next one here, so Jacob has a lucky number, Emma's trying to guess it. She knows that if she triples it, then adds 25, and the result will be 2024. And it's asking you what's the lucky number. Questions like this, you need to work backwards. From the result, you work backwards to figure out the number. In math, when you work backwards, you have to do the opposite operation. It's kind of like introductory algebra. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to start with the number 2024. I don't know, my pen stopped working there. Hold on. Start with the number 2024 and subtract 95. When we do that, we're going to get 1,929. Then it said what she did first was triple it. So what we're going to do last is divide. Triple means to multiply by 3. So we're going to divide by 3. And when we do that, we get 643. That is Jacob's lucky number. So questions like these, you want to work backwards, and you work backwards by doing the opposite operation. Okay, the next one here, we know we have 8 boxes, and we know there's a combination of coins and flowers, and they're worth points. So the easiest way probably for most of you to approach this is to do a little bit of guessing and checking. So I'm going to start with 4 and 4, because there's 8 boxes, so I'm going to say there's 4 coins and 4 flowers. If there were 4 coins, that's 400 points. And if there were 4 flowers, that's 1,000 points. So our total is 1,400. So we're a little bit too high, which means we need less flowers and more coins. But we're actually pretty close. So I'm going to do 1 more coin and 1 less flower. So now I have 500 points for coins, and I have 750 points for flowers, which equals 1,250. So it's just a little bit of a guess and check method, making sure that I always add up to 8 boxes. And then the question is just how many have flowers? So the answer is 3. 3 will have flowers. All right, a couple of you asked me about how much is a quarter and how much is a dime. Quarters are 25 cents. Dimes are 10 cents. So that's just something you kind of got to know. It's telling you you have a certain number of quarters and a certain number of dimes, and then if you flip them around, so say I had 5 quarters and 3 dimes, that would be 25 times 5, $1.25 plus 30. I'm at $1.55. If I flip them, I now have 3 quarters and 5 dimes, so that's 75 plus 50. That's $1.25. Right? So that's kind of what it's showing you. But it's telling you when you flip them, the difference is 45 cents. So notice here, the difference between quarters and dimes is actually 15 cents. That's the difference between quarters and dimes. So if the difference is 45, that means there must be 3 more quarters than dimes. So in this problem, you're always going to want to have 3 more quarters than dimes. Again, the easiest way to kind of approach this is to do a little bit of guessing and checking. So for example, I'm going to have 10 quarters and 7 dimes. I want to keep them 3 apart. When I do that, I'm going to calculate how much money that is. This is worth $2.50. This is worth 70 cents. So altogether, this is 70 cents. Altogether, this is $3.20. So I'm a little bit too low. So that means I need to guess more quarters and less dimes, more quarters and more dimes. And I'm not super close. So I'm going to go with 15 quarters now. If I have 15 quarters, I'm going to have 12 dimes because I want to stay 3 apart always. When I do that, 15 quarters is $3.75, and 12 dimes is $1.20. Together, that's $4.95. Oh, yay, I got it. And if I wanted to check my answer, if I wanted to check my work, I could just flip this and ask myself, what would 12 quarters be? And what would 15 dimes be? And when I do that, I actually get $4.50, which is 45 cents less. The question then says, how many quarters does Nicole have? The answer will be 15. So I'm using the fact that I know that they're 15 cents apart to figure out that I need to have 3 more quarters than dimes always. And then I'm just going to guess and check a number of quarters, a number of dimes, until I kind of get the right answer. Okay, this last one was one that definitely messed a lot of you up, probably because a lot of you didn't know what volume was. So volume is the length times the width times the height. So when I have a 3D shape, here's a 3D shape. Okay, doesn't really matter which one's which. So here's my height, here's my length, here's my width. It really doesn't make a difference. I'm going to multiply those 3 together to get the volume. The base, it says, is 8 and 12. That means this one will be 8 and this one will be 12 because it does say it's drawn to scale. So that means if this was my shape here, so I'm going to draw that again. If this is my shape, this part's going to be 12 and this part's going to be 8. We don't know what the height's going to be. We're not sure what that's going to be. A lot of you, unfortunately, made an assumption that the 8 was the same all the way. All these small ones were 8, but they're actually not. This one here is a tiny bit longer than that one there. So what you actually have to do is figure out what the height of the box is first, because the height of the box is going to be this length, and this length, and this length, and this length, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. We actually need to find that red amount. To do that, we just take our 8 times 12, which is 96, and we can divide that by our volume, because that's going to give us the missing height. When we do that, we get 7. Now we know that the height is 7. So this part in red is going to be 7. Our 12 is going to be here and here, and our 8s are going to be there and there and there and there. So there are 4 8s. Let me just add a page. There's 4 8s. There are 8 7s, and there are 2 12s. And we just figure that out, 56, 24, and when we add that up, we get 112. And that is the answer to that question. So again, don't worry about what your score was on this. Hopefully you learned something in the video so that next time if you get a similar question, you're going to know what some of these things mean and what some of these things are.